1954, Switzerland hosted the World Cup. 16 countries took part, with the opening ceremony and match taking place here in Lausanne's Stade Olympique. Today, this stadium is home to FC Lausanne Sport, a lower league Swiss club. But in 1954, it welcomed the most prestigious competition in international football. 1954 marked the 50th anniversary of FIFA, so it was appropriate, perhaps, that the World Cup came for the first time to the country in which FIFA is based. Switzerland had been awarded the hosting rights 8 years earlier, and by the time the event started, the nation's anticipation was palpable.
It was incredibly important for us. The reason was that was the first time that we played good football. It really was something great to be part of back then. This tournament between all these countries.
Charlie Casali, now 84 years old, was a midfielder who played in the Swiss team in 1954. We met him recently in Bern, his hometown. Bern, of course, is intimately associated with the 1954 World Cup. The city's Wankdorf Stadium hosted the final that saw West Germany beat the mighty Hungarians. The Germans were underdogs and were down 2-0 before 10 minutes had been played. Yet they came back to win 3-2 and claimed the Jules Rimet trophy for the first time in the match dubbed the Miracle of Bern. It remains a vivid memory for those that watched it unfold during this, the first televised World Cup. Viewers included the man who grew up to become Switzerland's current national team coach.
I was a young boy. I was about 10 or 11. I sold programs in Zurich at the Hardturmstadion, and so I watched all the games in Zurich. I can still remember watching the final too. Our big idols then were the Hungarians, Puskás, Hidegkuti, Csibor, and all the others as well. And I cried because they lost against Germany in the final.
The final is rightly celebrated as a classic, and the tournament would also see the host nation progress well. They'd reached the quarter-finals, a result they've not matched since.
The nicest thing was to see how happy we made all the fans. Those fans were always cheering us on. We surprised ourselves too, because we proved that we could give anyone a game. That's something that we wouldn't have actually thought we could do before then.
Switzerland's opponents in the quarter-finals were their neighbours Austria. The match proved to be a 12-goal thriller. The home fans must have assumed that they were through to the semis after Switzerland took a 3-0 lead. But somehow they then conspired to allow 5 unanswered Austrian goals, eventually losing 7-5.
After they managed to take the lead, we found that we were always chasing the match. It was a wonderful game to be part of. We went all out for attack, but in the end we'd lost. And that was that. It was all over. However, I will never, ever forget that particular match.
The Austrians would be defeated by West Germany in the semi-finals, but then managed to secure third place. By some way, it was their best ever finish at the World Cup. In fact, most recently, they didn't even qualify for the latest 2 editions of the tournament. Of course, both Austria and Switzerland as co-hosts will participate at next year's most important tournament, UEFA Euro 2008. And whereas in 1954 Austria gained the upper hand, Switzerland looked better placed to do well next year.
I think they will play well. Tactically, they're very good. You could see that in the friendly against Germany. And they will be especially good if the defence can push up and support in attack.
It's been a long time since Switzerland hosted such a prestigious tournament. The stadium that witnessed the historic 1954 World Cup final has been demolished, replaced by the new Stade de Suisse Wankdorf. The Swiss people are excited about next year, but the organisers know it will take something special to match the events of 53 years ago.
Well, that certainly won't be easy, because back in 1954 we had the Miracle of Bern, which really was something special. I hope that something similar will happen again in Bern, but we know matching what happened back then will be a very difficult thing to achieve.